Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. And if these are not the silliest and funnest people I know, I don't know who is. Hello, Myra J.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
I am doing great. I'm doing absolutely wonderful.
Good.
Hope
You look
everyone
all
else is too.
summery and stuff. Look at
I,
you. Got the shoulders
I am
out.
so ready for summer. I'm so ready for it.
All right, then. And the man in lilac. Hello, Stephen Hill.
Hello, Sybil. Hello, Myra. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Billboard Awards, Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Make sure you see it. Buff Daddy is the host. And now it's even bigger than it was before. So there's that.
I can't tell you how many times.
Um,
Yes, Myra.
no. I was waiting for Stephen Hill to give us more.
Oh.
The show's so big, even Viagra goes, dang, you don't want it bigger than that, do you? So
And we go, yes.
and we're off. Yeah. Yeah. So Steve, you've been busy. Myra, you've been on the road, and I'm just here.
what you been up to, Sybil?
Just working. I promise you. And I'm not sleeping well either. That's another thing.
Why
So
not? Do we know why?
I used to have like every other night that I'd have a good night on, and then a not so good night. Good night, not so good night. Now it's a weekly thing. So some weeks I do very well. Other weeks this is a not so great week. So
Do you get to sleep and then wake up, or you can't get to sleep?
I can fall asleep. And then I wake up, and if I go to use the facilities, I'm not able to go back to sleep.
Oh.
And
Is it because of things you're thinking about? Are you thinking about a lot of things in that time when your mind has a chance to wake up?
there are chances that that'll happen.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes, Dr. Hill. That's a possibility. And so like this morning, I was up till about 1 o'clock, and I went to sleep. No problem falling asleep. 4 hours later, I woke up at 5, and I've been up ever since.
Oh, sorry
Yeah.
about that.
So yeah, it's good. Yeah. Mm. You know what? In the grand scheme of things, there are worse things that could happen, right? So I'm okay. But I do miss a really good 8 hour night
You
of
mean you
sleep.
actually have gotten 8 hours of sleep
I
since I've
remember
known
those
you?
days. I remember those days, Myra. I don't know about you, but I do remember those
Oh,
days
no,
when sleep was my friend.
no,
No?
no.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Never?
I still will have to. You don't, Myra? You don't get 8 hours?
Mm-mm. Would like to, but nope.
So
I can operate on 5,
uh-huh.
but after about 3 or 4 or 5 nights, I have to get a good 8 one in. Good 8. And I usually try to get 8 most of the time.
Yeah, and they say 7.5 to 8 hours, you really are you're good.
Hmm.
If you try to handle it on less than that, it's going to catch up with you, and it does things to your mind, it does things to your body, and
Yeah.
going, being
Look at my
sleep
face. I'm
deprived.
13 years old.
So, as people who are watching can see, young Quinn is not here. I guess as she stated last week, she's got a little graduation coming up, and
Good for
so
her.
we want to wish her congratulations. And I knew she wouldn't be here. She's like, oh no, okay. Things
Mhm.
happen, and rightly so. She's getting her master's this weekend, and so we wish her a lot of luck and great happiness,
Me
so
too.
and success. All right. So let us now take a look at the What You Need to Know newsletter. And Stephen Hill, you or me, who's going to do our best Kwyn Townsend Riley impersonation to talk about her story? Okay, you do
I
that,
did
and
face. I did face.
you
You got everything else.
you give great face. Yeah, absolutely. But I think this will be of interest to all of you in terms of the story that she prepared for today in today's What You Need to Know newsletter. By the way, it is absolutely free. Our What You Need to Know newsletter. Please go to SybilWilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address. We'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning, quite early, if I do say so myself. And also check us out because we have a wonderful new opportunity for folks to get some cash, some cold hard cash. And if you follow our newsletter, and you'll see the information about it. $500 for wellness grants provided by the Public Health Foundation. The public and so this is for Mental Health Awareness Month. Thank you, the Public Welfare Foundation, and you can win $500. And so the winners, we will announce the winners in another week or two, and that is a really good thing. So we thank the folks. We had a great conversation with a young woman who is the president and CEO of that foundation, and it was a lot of fun. And she's a dynamic young woman. So we thank them for their partnership and for what we have going on with this little project here. And happy Mental Health Awareness Month to both of you, by the way.
Thank you so much. Working on it.
I know, right? Okay, so as I mentioned, young Kwyn prepared a story, and it is about one of your favorite people. I would think for both of you is in terms of performers, and it is about Janelle Monae.
Hey.
Yeah. She is going to star in an upcoming TV series about the one and only Madame Josephine Baker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She said she's been a fan forever, and this was a great opportunity. And so the 8-time Grammy nominee and SAG winner for Hidden Figures is set to star as the iconic entertainer and freedom fighter, Josephine Baker. The TV series is called De la Résistance. Meaning that she was a part of the resistance during World War II. She was a spy.
Mm-hmm.
And she worked underground in France to bring information, and using her career as an entertainer to kind of pass the messages and information along about what was happening with the Germans. And she was so much a part of it that she has been honored by the country of France, and her body has been moved to a place of honor where only heroes in France, where their bodies, their remains are placed. So she will also produce this, and I'm looking forward to it. And she goes into telling about her career. That was one of my favorite things, was the story about that when France did pay honor to her and moved her body to the place of honor. And so she was active, as I said, during World War II, for which she was awarded multiple honors, starting with Charles de Gaulle, who was the general, and then went on to lead France. So she's just an amazing woman, from World War II to the Civil Rights Movement. And Janelle Monae, I know, will just do a dynamic job. As a matter of fact, her outfit that she wore to the Met Gala was in tribute to her. Yeah.
It's funny. I was not. I mean, I guess I was still surprised. I'm so happy for her, by this Josephine Baker. But when it was announced, I was like, "Oh, that's what she was doing at the Met Gala." Oh, either that, or it's like, I don't feel like fixing my hair. So,
well, I thought she might have come in the banana leaf skirt, but which is one of my favorites. I have that poster, and I absolutely love that about her.
Doesn't fall within the Janelle Monae color scheme.
That's true. The black
white,
and
white,
red.
Black, white, red.
Black,
white, red.
You're absolutely right. Steve, you have a favorite Janelle Monae story?
Oh my gosh, yes. I was there the night that she turned on the music industry. It was at an event called now I can't remember the name of it, but it was on Broadway. This place on Broadway where, like, every Tuesday night, labels would bring their, like, brand new acts, and you get polite applause. Janelle Monae took the stage, and she proceeded to do the Janelle Monae thing that she's become to be known and loved for. And it's funny. And so people jumped. She did the James Brown splits. She did the soaring vocals, and people jumped to their feet like it never happened before. At that old, it was sometimes we get jaded, but that was one of those like, oh, this is what makes me excited to be in the music industry. And so she's always been about her business. She was black, white, and red at that moment, and she stayed that way for a few years. She varies every once in a while now, but she'll always default to that. But she is one of my favorite performers to come to prominence in the 21st century.
Yeah. Myra, Tom used to like to tell the story about how she would come to the Sky Show, as a kid when we would go to Kansas City and tell him that she was, going to be big in the business and, remember her name. And
Really?
yeah. But I've been a fan of hers both on stage and on the big screen. Like I absolutely adored her in Hidden Figures, and I thought that was a dynamic part for her. I can't wait to see what she does with this, though.
Oh yeah.
I just can't.
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait. And also want to talk about the fact that today there was a vote held in the United States Senate in which the Democrats knew they were going to lose, but they went ahead with it anyway in a symbolic effort to show where everyone stands on the record of a woman's reproductive rights. So we know that the leak that has come out of the first draft that was written by Samuel Alito, one of the conservative justices, just shredding to pieces Roe versus Wade, and getting rid of it in this first draft. And if this is going to pass in the next month or so, if it's going to, the decision is going to come down and remain as such. The United States Congress, House, as well as the Senate, were trying to prepare for this and to codify or to go past the Supreme Court decision and still make this the law of the land and not give the rights to the states to make these decisions about women's bodies. Well, it looks like that's the way it's going to happen, barring anything unforeseen. So they were preparing for this and knowing that even every Republican was probably going to vote against it, including women who are in favor of a woman's reproductive rights, and namely Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. And there was even, I believe, from Pennsylvania, there might have been a senator who might have been able to go over to the other side, to the Democrat side. That didn't happen, and it failed by a vote of 51-50. And even with the vice president there, that didn't help.
Who did it? Who did it? Was it Manchin?
Yep.
Here's the thing. Don't you think that you should be able to go back and say, hey, here's the vote, but also, if you have paid for or been part of an abortion process before, you have to abstain.
Wow.
Right?
No, I love that idea. And how many of them?
Or if I might say, or Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh, because Kavanaugh paid. You at least paid if he didn't have one of his damn self. So doesn't it feel like that's the only fair? Like, hey, you get to vote against this if you have never ever been part of an abortion process. That's just a suggestion.
As a father, as a family member, as the co-parent, Stephen, I think that's a brilliant idea, and I think they would have lied.
Of course.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh, this is a disgrace. I can't believe you did it.
But I like beer. You like beer, Senator? Oh, God. Don't get me started. So that vote went down, and they're not back at the drawing board, but they are going to use this. The Democrats hope to use this as a major plank of their platform for the midterm elections, and point out to people, and especially those people who are now out there marching, who are in front of the justices' homes, including the senators' homes. I think they marched in front of Susan Collins' house, if I'm not mistaken. And trying to bring some focus and attention to where people who are the majority of this country who are in favor of reproductive rights are saying. But the other point that I made in this story,
are we happy about this protesting in front of people's homes thing? Are we?
They're peaceful. They're peaceful.
Are we happy about that protesting in front of people's homes?
I like it because I like that they are staying vigilant, but they were peaceful. But this is what kills me, Stephen Hill, how Ted Cruz was comparing the peaceful demonstrations of these people in front of the homes to the peaceful demonstrations at the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. He said that they were violent in front of these people's homes, as opposed to the peaceful demonstrations at the Capitol.
I'm not really going for moral high ground from Ted Cruz, but I do want to say, I'm not getting my moral credits, but it does feel like going in front of the house. Like, I don't, if you're working at Dairy Queen and you gave a bad ice cream, right? Do you want the person who got the bad ice cream be in your house like, you gave me a bad ice cream? It's my job. It's my job. It's my decisions at my job. Let me separate the two. I don't know. And by the way, I felt that way. I felt that way on decisions that go my way and decisions that go against. I'm like, the home is a sacred place.
Okay, so how about this? How about Kavanaugh's neighbors were demonstrating against it? No. But how interesting! You go home because you think that's going to be your place, your sanctuary. And your neighbors are saying you're this, you're that, and you're wrong for this decision. So if people are coming in, or it's just Fred next door, you're still getting it. I get what you're saying, and you should be able to go home and have a beer for Kavanaugh.
It's part of look. If Republicans were doing this to Democrats' house because we didn't like, we would be up in arms. This is part of the whole. We talk about the dismantling of not just culture, but of manners in this country.
Yeah,
it's part of the whole thing. Like, we are not guilty of it.
Someone
that double
needs
negative didn't work. But it's somebody's house. I get it. All day at their job.
I am all for
at Dairy Queen all day. Stephen makes a bad ice cream sundae. Stephen makes a bad ice cream sundae, but don't come to my house.
Because of a bad. Myra, you were going to say what?
Oh, I am all for peaceful protest, and I understand what Stephen says about the right to privacy, but I'm like, if you're not on their property per se, but you right outside on their street, you might have to work on making a better ice cream sundae.
And I don't think they're going to change any minds. I think this is going to make them even more steadfast. But sometimes you just got to let them know how pissed off you are. And I'm not mad at that. And the way that they did it, they were very peaceful. They marched in the street. They didn't go, not on my lawn, none of that stuff. They didn't do any of that. But they were letting them know where they stand, which is something that we have not seen, not to this extent, at least in my lifetime. I don't remember anything like this ever happening, where people are. But the point that I made in this story was, where were all these people and the anger when they gutted the Voting Rights Act in 2013, when the Supreme Court, including Chief Justice Roberts, said, I don't think things are so bad for the blacks. I didn't understand that they still needed the Voting Rights Act, and they still did it. And so I want this kind of, Annette Brady says, their houses or my womb. Which is it, Stephen?
Look, don't protest it.
No, okay. I can appreciate what you're saying.
Yes.
And when you get off the air, you just want to, like for me, I didn't want to talk after 4 hours of talking. You know what I mean? I wanted to remove myself and not know where people say, so what do you think about? I didn't, and I get that. But in this case, Myra, I gotta say, I love the passion. I just
in this case, because they're on your side, though, right?
No. You know what?
So houses only work for abortion cases. That's what I'm saying.
No. Because I think that what they showed their displeasure with the government and the Constitution, and it was horrible, but people died, Stephen. At the Capitol, they died, but they still had the right to protest, but they didn't have the right to kill and to be violent and to say what they, and so.
Oh, I'm not saying protest of the House is wrong and the insurrection is right. That's Ted Cruz.
No. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but I still think that everybody has the right. everybody has the right.
They do, but
to
the
do
challenge is with all these rights. To use my favorite Jeff Goldblum phrase from Jurassic Park, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. Right.
Okay.
So we have these rights. We have all sorts of rights. And the challenge is with these rights, and we found this in the last presidency, is that like the president can do all of these things, but when you care about your culture and you care about your country, there's certain things you just don't do. When you care about decorum, there's certain things you don't do, even if you disagree. Right. And I think there should be a separation of personal
of church and
professional,
state.
right? And so there are people, and I agree.
Okay, let me just suggest we really have to move on to the next segment, but we'll come. I promise. We'll talk about. I promise we'll come back to it. I would never want to disappoint you and your Sunday making skills. Okay, it's now time for our question of the day, and the question in what's really going on. What should you get a pass for? When should you get a break? Is it something as simple as when you have COVID or just a really bad cold, Chica and Yolanda? Should you get a pass for a death in your family? Now, Myra and I worked with a guy who had 28 grandparents who died. And in order to get a break for, not coming to work or not being able to travel, or these were like 20. I swear, Myra. Am I exaggerating, Myra J?
No,
okay,
no, not at all.
Okay, so how about a breakup? How about a bad breakup? Do you call and say, Myra, I can't go on this trip with you. I'm sorry. I just we broke up and my heart is broken.
Years ago in my act, particularly, this is women, if you have a male boss, 2 words, female trouble. He never asked you to explain what it is. Just get it out of his office before it falls on the floor. Just say, I am having female trouble.
Here's the kind of bad boss I am. Somebody said I have female trouble. I said, I'm having female trouble too, and I'm here. What's up? Girl, you don't know what Shanice's putting me through right now. God, dog.
You show me your tampon, I'll show you mine.
Female trouble.
That works. I think that it worked at one point, Myra. I'm not sure that it works anymore for a lot of men, like Stephen Hill.
Yeah. Well, this was back in the day.
Yeah, but it did. Oh, I've got it's that time. It's that time. So what? And so when should you get a pass, ladies and gentlemen, those that are watching and listening? And what was the best excuse you ever gave when you needed a break or a day off? When you called it, hello, Tom. I never did that.
I didn't call him.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna lose my good job.
Okay. Oh, Rosemary Smith goes straight to it on YouTube. She says diarrhea. You just tell them that, and they're like, hands off. Okay, all right, okay. We should.
Oh, that's interesting because when I have diarrhea, I go straight to work because I ain't leaving that in my house. That's a different way of looking at it, I think. That's a very different way of looking at it.
Well, some people don't. You know what? Here's the other thing, Stephen Hill. I can't speak for other women, but that's something I don't want to do at the office. I can't take my.
People don't need to know that much about me.
Right. Yeah. There's some things I don't even like to do that when I'm on vacation with a man. I will have a horrible stomachache and not do that. So it's some things I just won't do.
Oh no, especially if 50-50, he gonna get some of this. Okay? I'm not being in discomfort taking this all the way back to the US. Oh no, sir. Ruining my vacation.
So the funny thing about that is, and this is a true story, I swear to you.
Oh, good. I love those that seem impossible.
So when Shantae and I got a place, when we got a place, one of the considerations, and this is on me, this is on not her. This is not one of the considerations was how far away the farthest bathroom is from the master bedroom.
Oh.
Full stop.
Love
It,
that
it, it like it
consideration.
can't be just like right outside the door. It can't be
Yeah.
just the room over. It literally is is on the other side of the house, tucked back into a room. And I was like, we'll take it.
That was the major selling point.
It was absolutely a consideration in when we got a place.
Steve, I absolutely love that.
So he was looking for a place with an outhouse, basically.
No, yeah, 100%. If I could have found an out, I'd be like, this looks good. What? 1997? Good. Oh. Does it come with the shovel? Oh, good.
Oh my God, that is so great. I love that. I love the fact that there are two different spaces. Janice Brown on Facebook said, I called in. I am mentally tired. And that's a legitimate excuse, especially in this day and age. I called in. I'm just done. I'm finished. Shirley Ann Tony Davis on Facebook says my excuse was anxiety or go to the nut house. There seems to be a lot of that. And May is our month of mental health awareness. So those seem completely legitimate to me. Or else, as our friend Dominique says, sooner or later somebody's going to come and that person you haven't been so nice to is going to let you have it at the office.
I actually did call in for Martin Luther King Day before it was a holiday. When it was still,
wow.
Yes, I did. And they had a meeting with the State Department of California stating it is not a holiday, blah, blah, blah. And I called in saying, he gave up a lot for me. And so I'm calling in Martin Luther.
So Myra, did you get in trouble, I wonder?
No, I did not.
Ooh. Oh.
No, I did not. Because especially back then, it was like, you know what? Just give her this day. Just give her this day. Don't have her come in.
Forget her daily bread.
Right. Give it to her. Because she will come in and turn this office out the next day. Let's just give it to her. Yeah, I sure did.
Stephen Hill, what about you? Did you ever, what's the best excuse, or did you ever call in? I can't see you doing that.
It's not a me thing. It really isn't. The closest thing I came was when I was on the radio in Boston. I set up this whole elaborate thing when I was already taking a vacation, but I told the listeners like, and all of a sudden I got this phone call from like someone who's playing my girlfriend. She broke up with me on the air. And like, so I pretended to like tumble down the thing. Like I played Atlantic Star Always. I played it on repeat. And my co-host was like, stop, I can't believe that. And then all of a sudden, like 10 minutes before I was supposed to leave, I just left. And I was gone for like 2 weeks.
That's pretty good.
As soon as I hear, to this day, when I hear Always by Atlantic Star, I think, that's pretty
That was a pretty good. That's pretty good. I with texting, Renita Bland says with texting you can call off without talking to anyone. Can you do that?
True.
So you can text your boss?
Oh yeah.
Texting's magical. Texting's magical. Let's be clear. You can text yourself out of work. You can text yourself into relationships. Like texting is the new conversation.
Have you ever broken up with anyone by text?
No, that's just one. That's one too far. No, no. It was more by email. So,
or who was it? Who was it that broke up with his wife by fax?
No.
Yeah, Phil Collins. It was Phil Collins.
No.
Yes, the drummer, Phil Collins.
I gotta look this one up.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So we're still looking for what should you get a pass for? Is it you act out of character because someone in your family died? Or a made-up member of your family. Anthony Sanders on Facebook says, I tell my employer I have the gout. They say, okay, just call us when you're ready to come back. Yeah, white people, black people, everybody understands the gout. At some point. Keisha Michelle Brown says on Facebook, I had someone lie at my job and say her uncle died so that she could spectate at my first cousin's funeral. I Okay. She got a pass from HR because somehow it was believed she really could have thought of him as her uncle. I was furious because she said, here I am all to pieces coming to work. She came to work because of no bereavement leave for a cousin. And her friend, her coworker got up because she used this her family member, to get off. Ay, 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 ay. That's crazy.
You should never do that. Oh, wait a minute. I came in late in the conversation. Never mind. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was something else. Never mind. My bad.
You're so silly.
You could always say you got a rash. Nobody wants to really say just
Nope.
I can show you if you want to see it, by the way.
No.
I can show it to you.
Don't mind the oozing.
It's a rash.
There's some oozing, but I'll be okay. I just need to go into change the dressing.
Oh, Miss Emma1 on YouTube. I like this one. I called in the day after Prince passed. Needed a day to recuperate. Recuperate.
I get that.
Right. That sounds right.
Because I worried about you guys. I worried about Kelly Harrington and all the major Prince fans. Absolutely. The day after Michael Jackson died, Stephen Hill, we were on the air, and you came on and talked about Michael. But that, those are days where you think people, is it Lala Lee?
Who lied on COVID? Lala Lee from Facebook done lied on COVID.
COVID exposure.
Oh, wait. COVID exposure. That's different than having
exposed
COVID.
to COVID.
Oh, that's slick. Because you're not really lying then?
Yeah,
you're not really lying.
But that's still bad karma. You know what I mean? Dora Levette Tiggs, our friend on Facebook, said none of these excuses will ever work in the military. Okay. So, Dora, was there ever one that worked for you that you knew of? Was it because even with the death of a parent or a spouse, they're still, they're gonna check and make sure they're gonna go through all your records and everything. So, who are these people? Who are they people? And let's check and verify. Oof. Man, CM Williams on Facebook said called in sick for Freaknik. All right, how young were you, or how old, or were you when you decided to call in so you could go to Freaknik? And so here's
and
the
I took my grandkids with me too.
Myra, how about those days at the Sky Show when somebody would call in sick?
Yes.
And they were on one side of the auditorium, and their boss that they called in sick to was on the other side of the auditorium.
Yes, that has happened.
And they would get, I called my boss. I told her I was sick. And the boss was like, over here, I'm the boss.
Especially when we started televising them.
Yeah.
I'm like, you do know, they all up in the dance contest, the Under the Sheets contest.
Or if they have a case, Stephen Hill, they have an insurance case. And they're up there, they rip their neck thing off, they put the cane down, and they get in the old school dance contest.
Yeah, just free advice. If you're on disability, trust me, trust and believe, you don't be in the club.
I don't
None
care
of that.
how good the music is. I don't care how many tickets you're getting on Southwest Airlines. Don't do it.
Don't do the TikTok challenge. None of that. Trust me. I worked at the unemployment office when
Charlotte Bowen Bellamy on Facebook says, I will not call out. I went to work sick all the time. Well, that's not good, especially when I had no voice. And since I'm a teacher, they send me home. Okay. So you go in and say, I'm a dedicated employee. and then they send you home, and they should. Absolutely, they should.
Yeah.
Myra, did you ever have one beyond the Martin Luther King Day? Did you ever have an excuse for not going in that worked, or seemed a little far-fetched, but they took it?
Well,
they accepted it?
I actually called it because of my position, because I also worked in the field. They got on me for not being in the office on time when it opened. So one time I was going to be late not very late, like 5 minutes. And I literally pulled over for breakfast.
My girl.
And breakfast, because I'm not going to make it on time. I don't want you all getting on me. So I'm just not coming in.
And that was it.
I didn't go in.
That was it. That was it. Okay. Thank you all for participating. This question came about because we've had two people who are sick on our staff, Chica and Yolanda.
And you don't believe them. Basically, what you're saying is you don't believe them. We had two people who say they were sick on our staff, but whatever.
Hello.
So the question is, how do you fake getting out of work?
We need better excuses.
Okay. All right, let's move to topical. Let's talk about what's going on. And Stephen Hill, you're up first. Tell us about the Billboard Awards. What can we expect?
Music Awards hosted by Puff Daddy P Daddy Pop Piff Puff Diddy Sean Combs. I don't know who we've announced and who we haven't, but I know that Silk Sonic's performing. I don't know if we announced it yet, but if we did, we go here. Megan Thee Stallion's performing. Travis Scott is on the show. And I must admit, my favorite, what I really love. And y'all gonna hate me for this. Some of y'all hate me. Some of y'all understand. Morgan Wallen is on the show. This is the first award show that Morgan Wallen has been on. And when I tell you that I'm the guy who fought for Morgan Wallen to be on the show, you better believe it. I am the guy that fought for Morgan Wallen to be on the show.
So tell
a short thing. Yo, nobody wants to be held responsible for something they do on a drunken night when they're 23 years old. Nobody wants to be held responsible for the rest of their life.
Country singer, right?
Country singer. Morgan Wallen
went on
one of the biggest sailor. But the thing is, and he used the N-word, but the way he used the N-word is the way his generation used the N-word as a position, as a point of love for somebody you want to take care of. If you look at the video, he was saying, you want to take care of that? You want to take it? Make sure he gets home safe. Okay. Make sure that gets home safe. Right? And so people are like, oh, he used the N-word. I'm like, he's 23 years old. He was drunk and he loves hip hop. And all hip hop is using that word. Now, I get how he shouldn't use it. I'm not defending him using that word. What I am defending is the fact that since then, he's given $500,000 to black organizations. Yes, it was a rough start, but he finally did it. He's done stuff behind the scenes to make sure that he's done what he's on his right. And most importantly, he hasn't repeated the behavior.
Okay.
So he hasn't repeated the behavior, done all the remedial steps. So what I'm saying is, yo, I don't want to. I can tell you right now one thing I did at 23, and if that haunted me for the rest of my life, we wouldn't be on this thing right here. So therefore,
I'm with you, Stephen Hill.
I was the guy who really.
And I feel like you're just repeating the pitch you made to your bosses.
No, it's been developed. Like it's kind of been streamlined since then. The first one was like a 13-page deck with a PowerPoint and a laser pointer and like here on the. But yeah. That's the thing. Look, he's. So that's I'm excited about. I'm really excited about that as well. And then Puff on the show, of course.
Who just signed a new record deal?
He just did. He's back out in the no Regina Glover from Facebook. Morgan didn't get a pass any more than you got a pass for that drunken night when you was 18 and you did that thing. You know what I'm talking about.
You know her.
Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it? You were just asking me something.
Diddy has signed a deal with Motown.
He did. Motown, run by this wonderful woman, Ethiopia, and he are in a partnership to put out a record in the very near future. So looking forward to it.
Oh, nice. And once again, Billboard Awards Sunday night,
8 p.m. East Coast. I think it's about 5 p.m. West Coast, and the rest of y'all can figure it out.
Okay. Myra J.
Yes.
How was the weekend in Chicago?
It was very, very good. Thank you to everyone who came out, friends, family, cousins, fantastic voyage people, good show. George Wallace, God bless you. Love you, came out. He did great show. The headliner, Kelly Kells, very, very funny comedian. It was good getting back on stage again. I was still a little about being in a club with people. Mm-hmm. I always announced, I love you. I want to hug you, shake your hand, take a picture. But if I can see your face, no picture. Mm-hmm. You must have a mask on. So we took a lot of mask pictures.
Okay. Who is that masked woman? That's Myra J.
That's Myra J.
That's good. And how did it feel working for the first time? beyond all the parameters of COVID and what have you?
You know what? Kind of like riding a bike. Once you get up there,
of course. Yeah, you get up there and you just go. You go.
Just keep pedaling. Just keep pedaling.
And that's what you tell. Yep.
Just keep pedaling.
Yep, that's what you say when you take the training wheels off.
Yep. It's challenging trying to do new stuff, but because it's like, what was that other joke I was going to talk about? Because I forgot about my whole thigh stop bit. 4 shows, didn't do it one time because I kept forgetting.
It'll be fresh for the new audience. So do you write stuff down? Do you put them on a stool? Do you write notes down and put them on a stool beside you when you do it?
I have never done that.
Interesting.
But Steve, you've got to see Myra J take copious notes. She has books and books and books where she writes out her entire act.
I get that.
Yeah, and
I have to write it out longhand. I cannot type it on the computer. I have to write it long. It's something about the mental touching of the pen to the page, to the paper, to the mind that helps me remember.
Yeah. And did it work this time? Or not?
Yeah. Yes, or not, apparently.
So I'm glad you guys, I'm looking forward to the Billboard Awards, but guess what is happening Sunday night, Stephen Hill?
Mm-hmm. You're going to save a lot on the muffler? No. Burna Boy's only Burna Boy. All my Nigerians and from the African diaspora. We got Burna Boy on the show as well. What's happening on Monday night besides that?
Sunday night is the total lunar eclipse 2022.
Ooh,
red moon. Partial eclipse. It'll be Sunday night, May 15th.
Okay.
It'll, according to NASA, the partial eclipse will begin at 10:27 Eastern time, 10:27 p.m. It'll get to the red-hued blood moon will begin at 11:30 Eastern time, and the entire event will end just before 2:00 Monday morning. That's May 16th. The eclipse will be visible in the Americas, Europe, and Asia. Everybody gonna see this. Yeah.
It's full or partial?
Well, the total lunar eclipse, the blood moon will occur during the partial starts it, then it'll be total. And then you'll see the blood moon that happens during the total lunar.
Now, if I have this correct, that is when the Earth is directly between the sun and the moon.
You got it. Earth lines up right between them.
Right between right. And the reason that it's red and not doesn't get blacked or blacked out is because of the light rays going through Earth's atmosphere.
Little bit of light,
right?
Yeah.
You catch it. So you catch it, it changes the color as it goes through the Earth's atmosphere, going there as opposed to just blocking it.
Yes, Mr. Astronomy, you are correct.
I'm feeling really good about me right now. And the reason you don't see the moon when the moon goes in front of the sun is because there's no atmosphere on the moon. There it is.
What?
And on the solar eclipse, the sun blacks out, and you don't see a lot of things around the moon because there's no atmosphere on the moon.
I have no need to watch Neil deGrasse Tyson tonight.
ever again. Just go to Stephen Hill.
Ever.
He's full of it. Fact.
And I'm always following him. I'm such a nerd.
But Steve and Yolanda and a friend of Steve's, we went to Wyoming, which was one of the best trips ever.
Wow.
When the solar eclipse took place, it was on my birthday, and that was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, we saw a couple of different sunsets and sunrises that day, and it was just really very, very
confused
very
the birds. I remember the birds got confused, like,
right,
oh, we cool, like, and then all of a sudden it got dark, and the birds like, we did this already today, right? We did this.
And the chickens are going, and the roosters are, no, never mind. Okay, all right, we did that.
I'll start.
Did you see? Because it's so many stars and things. Did you see like a shooting star or what was that? Did you see any of that when you were out there?
That was usually in the hotel, Myra. But
okay.
No, I think honestly for me, I was so focused on I am watching the sun disappear.
Yeah.
Like I'm watching the sun in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I am watching the sun disappear out the sky. And it's like night at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was it was so cool.
And for a while, Myra was like, "Is it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen?" You know, and then all of a sudden it started, and it was like, "Oh my God!" It was total nerd.
Amazing.
It really was.
It was truly. Okay, so the honeymoon was over before they got captured. The Alabama escapees.
Oh, I never heard the end of the story. Oh, please tell it.
You're so silly. So the Alabama prison escapee, who the former policewoman, was pissed at the guy. Vicky was pissed at her man Casey when the cops caught up with them and blamed him for staying in an effing motel. I told you we should have gone. We should have kept going. We should have kept going. And you made us stay in an effing motel. So they heard all of this on and apparently in the audio during the 911 call. And so she urged him to keep going as the cops caught up with them, blaming their inevitable capture on his decision to stay at the motel in Evansville, Indiana. I guess he knew it was going to be not too long before he was going to lose those good rooms and mattresses, I guess. The new 911 audio from the police pursuit ended in the car crash, the jailhouse lovebirds getting caught, and you hear him telling, get out and run. And then as he was trying to get out, they said she got angry and turned on him, blaming him for getting them discovered by the cops and saying you had to stay in some effing motel, as I said before. And they were tracked down to a Motel 42 in
Oh, they were stepping in high cotton. I didn't know the numbers went that high. Okay.
They planned to stick around there for 12 nights, but only lasted for 6 before the police caught on and gave chase. And they said when they saw her, she had the gun in her hand. And then that's when she turned the gun on herself and killed herself. Subsequently, they took her to a hospital. She did not make it. And he was roughed up a little bit by the police, but he's back in Alabama.
Yeah. And people have mentioned, you would think that they would have gone south.
Yeah. I would head for the border.
Yeah, but no, let's go north and stay in Evansville where they'll never find us.
Obviously, they've never been to Evansville before.
And they were just amazed.
They were going to blend in, maybe. But Steve, they instead of going south, they went up north. They hit like we did, headed north.
Oh, I'm really challenged by this. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is not how I thought it was gonna end up.
you and them both.
Somebody told them, it's freedom up north, and that's the direction that they headed in. I guess I don't know.
Wow,
it
was just a bizarre story all
the way around.
I guess all this concern about her losing her pension is off for naught. Jeez.
And Steve,
there was so much concern around that pension.
Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh, but everything. Oh, the pension. Oh, she's gonna lose the pension. She's gonna get the pension.
Because that generation, you don't mess with that good pension. You got that good job, right?
Pension. That's right. Wow. Oh, I'm really troubled by this. I literally, and I wasn't kidding. I had not heard the end of the story. I knew there was.
Oh, really?
But I hadn't heard it until I've been in
Billboard Awards.
Yeah, Billboard Awards stuff.
Billboard land. Okay.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard this one? A Georgia sheriff turned himself in after being accused of groping a prominent former judge.
I'm sorry, one more time. I'm sorry.
A Georgia sheriff has turned himself in after being accused of groping a prominent former TV judge. According to the reports, they have been brought against now former Bleckley County Sheriff Chris Cody, who prosecutors say groped Judge Glenda Hatchett.
Not my girl.
Well, the two were attending a sheriff's convention earlier this year. A witness to the case, former DeKalb County Sheriff Thomas Brown, detailed how the entire event went down.
Well, at least it wasn't groping Judge Wapner. Because Judge Wapner's dead. For all those people who think I'm a homophobic, that's not the point. The point is he's dead. Not he's
gone. Sometimes you hear stuff from your home state and you just go. really, Georgia. This what we doing now?
Yeah. So apparently, this other sheriff that invited Judge Hatchett, he said that he saw the former police officer behaving inappropriately, including to the fact that I saw his hand go down her left breast, and recalls how reflecting on the day brings back disturbing memories. Apparently, he has PTSD of this happening. I grabbed his arm, threw it off her chest, and said, "What the are you doing?" And that's basically where it ended. And so now charges have been filed, and the judge hopes to someday further share her story to help others who have been the victims of sexual misconduct.
Well, the law enforcement in the South really has not been representing well this past couple of weeks, have they? Really not painting a pretty picture.
I know. This does not count for entertainment. Let us move on to entertainment. And I'm very excited for this young woman. I'm such a fan of Naomi Osaka and the way she has taken control of her mental health, the way she is now taking control of her career. And she is making a big life change. According to reports, she is leaving the Endeavor-owned IMG Sports Agency to start her own sports agency, which will be called Evolve. Way to go.
Okay,
Way to go.
I like it.
I like that.
She said, "I've spent my career doing things my way, even when people told me that it wasn't what was expected or traditional. Evolve is the next step in my journey as both an athlete and as a businesswoman, as well as a way to continue being myself and doing things my way." She said when her contract ended with this company in 2021, IMG, she did explore the possibility of renewing the contract, but something told her it wasn't right. And that's when she came to the conclusion that she was going to start her own path, and that made more sense. How cool is that?
I love it. I love it.
So you are a 20-something-year-old woman, young 20s, and you've had a difficult year, whether it's the Olympics or, all of the things and going through the George Floyd things and getting a lot of pushback from people, her white fans, and on that. And now she comes to the point where she's taken charge of her life. And I absolutely love it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I just think
as well. Look, I think all of these athletes and entertainers, it's so different than it was. I know it's a long time ago then, but even as recent as 30 or 40 years ago, when you just ran through the machine. You go through a machine. This is how you do it, and then people realize, oh no, I can do this a different way and own more of my own IP and get all of the percentage. And so as people do this in their different businesses, it's been happening in music for a while. I'm glad to see it happen in sports.
Yes.
It's always great.
Look at what Oprah did, and that move, and
in media,
so it's and Tom Joyner and David Gaynor, they did too in taking their company and making a way for Tom and his success. So I'm all for it too. I absolutely agree. And I mean, even when you think like when I was a kid, the whole actually it's before I became a baseball fan. I think Curt Flood changed the whole game in terms of
being a free agency.
Yeah. And it takes people like that, to step out and other people to see and say, maybe I can do that too. So good on them. Good on them.
That.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So we really not going to talk about Jesse Williams? Rosemary Smith asked, and I was like, Rosemary Smith, I think it was on Facebook. Said,
well, there was another question I was going to ask, and it did involve Jesse Williams. So, okay, but I'll come back to that another time. But the question anyway. But yes, Myra J, have you seen Full
No,
Frontal?
and I've been looking, and I'm very frustrated.
So Jesse Williams is on Broadway on a play called Take Me Out, and he plays a gay baseball player, and he does a nude scene, and they take your phones. Allegedly, everybody's phones are taken, and somebody kept their phone and took video of him. I haven't seen it either, Myra, and I just like to see what he's working with. But it's a big deal. And not to mention the fact
That's
Thank
what
you.
I heard.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
As a matter of fact, it's so big that might have been the person who said, "Take me out." So,
But it's still, but I will say that box office is doing gangbusters as a result of this.
yeah, it's really busting. Oh my gosh.
Dear.
And
Look, but seriously though, that's something that, and I'm glad a lot of the unions and guilds are coming out. You can't, it is akin. Myra, you stop me. It's akin to going up on stage and slapping someone. It's like disrespecting the craft. It's
It is.
disrespecting what the work is about, right? The work is not about his penis on stage.
Right.
It's about the thing that a gay baseball player to go through, and now it's being distilled down to Jesse Williams's penis as this. I believe it was the same day he got a Tony, right? He got a Tony nomination for this. And so no one talked about the Tony nomination. Everybody talked about the penis, right?
Well,
and so,
I think they named it Tony.
See, there we go. There it is. There it is. What are you gonna do with? What are you gonna
See,
do? So anyway,
I heard about that. To me, and as an artist, I do respect the craft, and I do think it's a terrible thing somebody took the video and leaked it. But I'm just keeping it real. If it happened to run past my phone, I'm gonna look. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna peek. I'm not gonna share. I'm just gonna peek.
Steve, if
I would say I'd send it to you, but then I'd be riding into all the rumors that have been around for years. So,
Steve,
I'm not sure. I really want to do that right now. So
I'm going to pull you back.
Okay. Yes, please do.
Oh, you guys, this has been fun. Okay, so now it's time for us to close out with our daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. And today I want to remind you that patience is a virtue. I said jewel, not jewels. Inhale patience. Exhale worry. Thanks. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Yolanda, were we not supposed to see that? Okay. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day. I really appreciate it. It's been fun as always. And go, Kwyn, go be brilliant.
Yes. Congratulations, Kwyn.